Alright guys, so today we're going to check out a very interesting bundle that the company Epos decided to put together, where it's basically giving you this high-end gaming setup, and also in a way it's giving you an audiophile starter setup as well. I really see this as a bundle that you could use for pretty much any of your audio needs. And the bundle we're going to check out includes the Epos H6 Pro. Now this is the open back version. That's the one I decided to go with. This headset normally retails for 179 bucks, but they've also included the GSX 300 external sound card, or amp if you want to look at it that way. And this amp normally retails for about 79 bucks, but Epos put these two together and brought them in at a price of $199. And we've checked out gaming headsets alone that come in at this price tag. So I think that's what makes this a very intriguing bundle. I think you're getting a really impressive open back headset and also a very capable sound card. So we're going to talk about the features that these include. We're going to talk about the build quality and all that comes inside the box and see if it's worth the $199 price tag. So to start with, like I said, I went with the H6 Pro open back version. Epos also has an option where you can get the closed back headset, because do keep in mind, if you are using an open back headset, anybody around you is going to hear everything that you're listening to because your sound is just leaking into your surroundings. But I use mine in my studio or in my office, and I don't have to worry that anybody's going to hear what I'm listening to. Now, another thing, if you are going to be using these on PC, and this is really the only way to use that external sound card, it also works with Epos's gaming suite. Now, this allows you to have some different sound profiles or EQ settings. You can also go through and EQ them yourself, but it also allows you to switch it into the 7.1 surround sound mode, which normally I'm not a huge fan of. But where they really excel here is it also allows you to control the reverb, because I've always said that I think that simulated 7.1 surround sound is basically just adding reverb to your audio, trying to give you that echo effect to make you think that it's more open than it is. So being able to go in and just dial back the reverb the way that you want really can allow you to dial these in a little bit more to where they sound more natural, and not that you're just in a gym where everything's just bouncing off each other. But also within the suite, you can change around some of the mic settings. If you want yourself to sound warm, you can do that. You can also kind of isolate the sound a little bit more. There's only one button actually on the amp itself, so you can change it to where if you just want it to switch it into your surround sound mode or turn that off, or you can go in and have it switch between different presets that you set within the software. So it's nice that it gives you that type of control, but I am still one of those that I'm just not a huge fan of the simulated 7.1 surround sound mode. I just preferred to leave it in stereo mode, and I really think that's going to be the way that most people are going to use these. Now, as far as what all you're getting inside the box, like I said, you can use it with your PC with this sound card. So they do include a PC cable, which is the one that splits where you have your mic input and also your headphone input. But then they also include a normal 3.5mm cable. That way you can use it for consoles. Now, with consoles, you cannot use that external sound amp. That's kind of a bummer, because I would like to have that boost in the audio that that card is giving me. But it is also nice to know that I can just use it with consoles or the Switch just by plugging in that normal headphone cable. Now, moving over to the headset itself, I actually like the futuristic design that it has, but I also like the fact that it doesn't have all of this RGB lighting that basically makes it scream that it is a gaming headset. Now, it does have this really big boom mic on it, but that mic is removable. Inside the box, they also include these caps, so if you do decide to take the microphone off, you just put the cap on it and it just looks like a normal pair of headphones. And again, I'm not somebody that really games online much, so I just preferred to take the mic off and use it that way and just have it looking like a normal pair of headphones. Now, another thing that I do want to point out, it does have an all plastic build, so it is very light, which is a huge plus. But because of that all plastic build, if you're somebody that adjusts your headset and moves them around quite a bit, you are going to hear a little bit of creaking when it comes to the plastic. But this headset does not fold inward, and it also does not lay flat, but it does have a very interesting springing action on the ear cup. So like if you adjust them or swivel them in a little bit, the spring kind of keeps them where they always have a nice clamp on the side of your head. I always felt like it was extremely comfortable, and that could also also be because the ear pads have a memory foam, and it also has like a velvety type material to it. It's not the pleather like some ear pads, and I think they did this on purpose because they want this to be a headset that you can use for a long time without getting hot or getting sweaty. Now, the headband itself actually does have a pleather material, but again, this headset is so light that they really did not have to put a lot of padding on the top of this at all. Now, as far as the controls on here, on the right-hand side, where it looks like you have a cap there, that is actually your volume wheel. And one thing that I noticed is you have to actually turn the amp all the way up and then just control the volume on the ear cup itself. That way you're just getting the most out of the amp, and then you can dial it back if you feel like it's too loud on the headset. Now, on the left-hand side, that is where the mic is located. And just like other Epos products in the past, because it is a Sennheiser branded company, the mics on these sound fantastic. I didn't feel like I needed to go in and change the settings at all. I felt like it sounded really natural. It picked up my voice very well, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is the mic test using the H6 Pros. Again, I am blown away by the quality that this headset has, but again, not really surprised because Sennheiser headsets have always had a very good mic. So this is what it would sound like while you're gaming or while you're using these online. So now let's talk about the sound, and this is easily one of the best sub $200 setups that you're going to be able to find. You can go out and buy an open back pair of headphones, but then you would need to buy an external DAC or an amp, and usually that's going to push you well above 200 bucks. So I really like that Epos decided to just package this all together, because I feel like the sound quality that the H6 Pros have mixed with the GSX 300s, it really does feel like they were made to be together. It's just a fantastic, very open sound. Positional audio, these handle really well. Now this again is just in stereo mode. You may prefer to use it in 7.1. I'm just, again, not a huge fan of this. But what was also surprising is the bass impact that these have, because most open back headphones usually tend to not have strong bass, but the bass on these are very fast, it's very punchy, it's impactful, so explosions sound great, but metal sounds fantastic on these. I mean, the double bass of the drums this headset can just keep up with. Pop and hip hop, it just, again, has this really nice feeling to it, but it's not bloated, it's not overemphasized. And I would really consider these to be more of a semi-open back pair, because the outside of the ear cup's not completely open. It's really just the top half section. So maybe that's what's contributing to these having a little bit more low end. And the mids just, again, are one of those that really stand out. The mids have a nice forward approach, but what that's doing is allowing you to hear dialogue very clearly, but also those subtle footsteps in gamings. And also, like, if you hear leaves and stuff rustling to the side, I mean, you can pick that up extremely well in this pair. And that could also be because the treble is very bright. It never got harsh in my opinion, even at louder volumes, but the louder that you listen to these, the harsher that they can get when it comes to the treble. So if you don't like that really bright sound, I would recommend going into the software and dialing it back a little bit. But I think it really does pair well with having that nice punchy bass. It makes things sound pretty dynamic, but it still retains that natural feeling. It doesn't sound like it's overemphasized too much. So really, my overall opinion is, when it comes to the audio quality, this is a fantastic bundle. I think really the only complaints that I have is I do wish that the sound card worked with consoles. The only other complaint, and this really isn't too much of a complaint, so I guess you could buy these separately, is I do wish that they included different ear pads. Now, this is something that I've seen Epos do with their other headsets, where if you wanted to use pleather, they had that option, but then they also had this fabric option if you wanted to go that way. I think ear cups play a huge part in headphones in general, and I do like having the options right out of the box. But again, for 200 bucks, getting this type of headset, getting that open back feel, but also having characteristics of a closed back headphone mixed with an amp or an external sound card that I think just is made really to work well with this headset. So yeah, I highly recommend this bundle. I've been using these more than I have my other open back headphones that I normally go to, just because it allows me some of those characteristics that I like having in closed back headphones as well. Now, I didn't mess around with the presets too much. I like the way that it sounded out of the box. So I can highly recommend this pair, especially if you're a gamer that might be looking into getting into audiophile type equipment. Now, this is not super high-end audio, like thousands of dollar type of headset, but to be able to get this type of setup for under $200 it's a no-brainer and an easy bundle to recommend. But guys, that's my video on the bundle that includes the Epos H6 Pros and the GSX 300 external sound card. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.